try and help her, and she already got it down and destroyed the nest.
She got that thing down by herself?
She used the broom.
Okay, that would be that for a couple of weeks.
She's still able to learn.
She is stuff. She is stuff. Did you go anywhere else besides the bathroom?
Look back.
No.
No.
I went right to the bathroom and then.
Okay. Do you know, I mean, did you ever show her something on like an iPad that she has? On that particular time that you guys were talking? She mentioned something about you showed her something on an iPad, so I'm kinda curious about that.
Yeah, yeah, she was getting interested about what I was talking about. And I showed her, one of the geek channels I watch. I believe that specific time I showed her, because I started talking about how, a car company started making part of their cars, carbon fiber, McLaren. And I showed her how the guy was rebuilding it.
Police, of course, have already checked the victim's tablet to see what Randy was viewing. And indeed, he was watching a hot rod video. But, not the kind that goes vroom vroom. Randy watched explicit content on the victim's tablet shortly before she made her 911 call. Not the time he's claiming, and it wasn't his first time doing that. Because at home, he wasn't allowed unfiltered access to the internet. Why? Because he had an addiction to the content he was watching. One that was so severe that he was actually caught at school looking at it.
So you showed her something on the iPad, and then once that was done, you left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elbow.
But this is just out of curiosity, kind of, you know, and taking into account what she said and also, you know, what I've already spoken to you about.
Going,
Was there like a candy bar or like some kind of chocolate or something that she had on her, like in her kitchen?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you take that?
No.
No? Okay. You
You better make sure you're telling the truth, John. Let me tell you something, Marty. Make sure you're telling the truth.
And like I said,
This is the time to tell the truth.
I don't look around.
If you're gonna get in trouble, you're gonna get in trouble,
Yeah,
but be
I agree.
honest.
No, I don't look around to see the signs.
Is that a dog?
Okay, I'm surprised. Excuse me. You
Nancy.
get in trouble for this kind of thing a lot. This is why you're on restriction.
What's the
Electronic devices, when they don't belong to you, you keep touching them and taking things that don't belong
Oh no, it's probably my cat.
to you, right? Okay, that's why you're on restriction. So when she's mentioning that, they're all over the place, I'm thinking, that's exactly what he does at home.
I didn't even know it was there.
So make sure you're telling the truth, is all I'm saying.
Okay,
Make sure you're telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth.
I doubt it. Don't tell a lie.
It seems like you guys are fairly close. Is that safe to say?
I was sad.
So you sit there and talk with her on a porch, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's good to have connections like that.
She, and sometimes when I would go over there, you know, she was, you know, always on his defense, you know, because she really,
Yeah.
you know, because I was
Just got done watching Kill Tony. Now I'm watching this little murder mystery thing.
a little bit hard on. She wants me to be softer on her,
It's
but
like every grandparent ever.
yeah, it has off on
You
you.
have to leave the parents because my parents don't step up.
I'm glad you have that. That's awesome, man. There's a lot of people that don't have that.
Yeah.
Is she,
What you up to tonight, everybody?
like I said, I mean, she really likes you, and is it Darian, so your friend lives across the street?
Yeah, Aaron.
So, I mean, she called you guys friends, so I mean, would that be, you think, an honest assessment of your relationship with her, like, is she?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, tell me about her, so I've never really heard about her from your perspective, so tell me what kind of person she is.
She's just a really nice outdoor person. I've never had any arguments or anything with her.
Really? Has she ever, like, chastised you or yelled at you?
Once I'm done with my soup, I'm gonna dab it up. Big dabs.
For, like, did she ever fuss at you for anything? Like, messing with anything, or even if she was maybe, like, cranky or in a bad mood about something? No?
No.
So, I mean, you've known her for how many years now?
About 8.
Wow.
according to you.
Yeah, you're 14 now?
What's up, man?
Yeah,
How's it
so
going?
we're half black. So, I mean, in 8 years,
I'm watching this murder mystery. Apparently this 14-year-old kid wanted to kill some 91-year-old lady. Okay. How much dishes do you got to do? It's on YouTube. It's the Red Thread Interrogation channel on YouTube. Someone asked what channel this was.
Can you recall ever having, like, being mad at her about something, or her being mad at you about something? No.
She ever make anything up?
No,
Anything out there off the wall or anything?
she's not that type of person.
She's not like the crazy old grandma that lives on the corner.
Little ass
No.
kid killing an old ass lady.
She's a person to be friends with.
Well, that's good. I mean, I will say, so in my interaction with her for this case, I mean, she's like
Hell
the
yeah.
quintessential, like, grandma, like, sweet, kind, and
This one.
Yeah, pretty much same here. I watched a lot of these shows, like The Villains, and I also watch Police Insider. That's a good one.
very, very, well, just basically a total gem of a person. Like, you know, she's the type of woman that you're like, man, if I'm even an ounce of as good as this person is when I'm her age, then I've accomplished my life goal. So, I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going good.
She's just a good person.
My favorite Pokemon?
Okay.
Probably
So
Mewtwo.
we're gonna kind
Or
of, I did have a
Snorlax.
question about
What'd you say?
the house stuff.
Is it-
So, have you ever like stayed the
No,
night
you good.
at her house? No? Okay. Have you ever like, I don't know, taken a nap in any of her bedrooms or anything like that?
No.
Who's getting a divorce?
Have you ever been in her bedroom or any of the guest bedroom?
No.
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 You ever do like, just, I know it sounds like a weird question, but I'm just trying to think
My
of like,
aunt, my
do you
great
ever do
aunt
laundry, or do you
Susan's
ever, like,
twin.
do you remember if you've ever been in any of those bedrooms?
No.
No.
I hate singing Happy
I've never
Birthday,
been
bro.
in any room other
I wouldn't
than
torture
the
her
living room,
like that.
kitchen, and the bathroom.
Not only did the victim help ID Randy, but as we stated earlier, his DNA was all over the crime scene, not just on her clothing, but on the sheets, comforter, and pillow. The same
So,
pillow that was used to smother the poor victim.
Well,
Nia?
I think you probably know that I wouldn't ask that question unless I had a reason to.
Not much. About to smoke.
Okay.
So, I'm just gonna be honest with
420
you, because,
somewhere.
I mean, I feel like you've been mostly honest with me, and I know your mom's been honest with me. Is it okay if I call you his mom? Yeah. Okay. I don't
Work
need
at Broadway
that.
Cannabis?
Yeah. But when I
Just a heavy customer. Nah, Broadway is a street in Portland also. So Broadway in Portland. Is it the same shop in New York? This one's in Portland.
came over to you
Yeah.
on, I think that was Sunday, and I was asking you about your clothes and the video and stuff, and I explained that I wanted to get your DNA, because I knew that you had been over there before, because you mentioned,
No,
like,
I'm
you told us
just a
today
customer.
that you had talked with her. So I knew that at the very least, there would be evidence of you being in the porch.
Yeah.
Sally sells the
So I went and met with your mom, and you
Sally
guys had
sells
consent form, and
seashells
you
at
got
the
your DNA.
seashore. For
Okay. So we sent
Sally
DNA,
sells seashells at
and
the seashore. Sally sells seashells at the
up to the
seashore.
Florida
Sally
Department of Law
sells
Enforcement, who does
seashells at the
testing stuff,
seashore.
stuff like that.
Sally sells
Is there
seashells
any
at the
reason at all that
seashore.
your DNA would be on her clothes?
Yeah, we hugged
Long way.
When I said goodbye to her, we hugged. Like a side hug.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's probably trying to copy New York, honestly. Because the Broadway in Portland is kind of busted.
Okay.
That's
Let me be a little bit more specific. Your DNA would,
Further upstate.
and so I want you to really
okay.
use this time here to be honest with me about what happened that night, because I think that we know what happened, and I think that your mom knows what happened, because she also wrote down a list of times that you went in and out of the house. To include the times that the call came in.
It's pretty premium. You know, there's yeah, it's a pretty nice color. I got no complaints about Oregon weed. Oh, you're fine. No, you're good. Maine could compete with you guys. Maine could compete with us. Really? Maine? Maine has good weed? Can you play guitar? Nah. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, Portland's got a lot of good dispensaries, and Washington does too, though. And those are the only places I've seen. Oh yeah, go Seahawks. Birthday. Well, they just changed the scheduling for weed now, so a lot more places are probably going to have dispensaries and stuff now. That's the art of the fuggler. Patrick's Star and Bigfoot's Baby. like that old school shit. Tribal music. I think this is more like house style, so I think I like house style the best. I don't like dubstep too much, and I like techno too, but you can kind of tell the difference between house and dubstep.
How much time did you spend meal prepping and cooking last week? And how much did you spend on takeout when you got bored? That's not necessary to eat healthy, not with Factor.
I'm thinking about buying the SpongeBob Fuggler to go with this. And I would have both. Tribal is good too, if you never heard that sound. Like tribal dance music. Do you have a good artist you would suggest? Fucking hell. Compilations, yeah, I feel you. Okay, I'll have to check out some tribal style. If I can just throw it more
Yeah. Excellent, honestly. Music transcripts are fantastic. Yeah. Definitely. I could dance for every week. Well, at least I remember where I put my phone.
Yay.
This was shit. And
I
then
don't even want to do my
maybe you
dishes.
just
I just want to
knocked her
throw
out,
them
not
out.
expecting her to- Maybe you just wanted to knock her out. You didn't think you were hurt of this guy.
Got your Gengar. You got
And
your
then you got-
Mewtwo.
What we're trying to
Got
figure
your
out
shiny
is, like,
Charizard.
targets that they have.
Got your
We're pretty
regular
certain we're
Charizard.
What we're trying to figure out is Randy
Got
John
your
the kind of guy
Fugler.
that breaks into people's houses with axes?
And you can't see, but that's
Using
Towley
curves.
too underneath
Or did
my
Randy John just make a mistake?
slab.
Randy John made a
I
mistake,
never
all
want
right.
to do my dishes.
And allegedly it isn't his first time. A few weeks prior to this incident, a family friend's kindergarten-aged daughter accused him of touching her inappropriately. He, of course, denied the allegations, saying,
This 14-year-old is sick. Yeah, I just want to throw all my dishes out. But I got some cool ones that I can't throw out.
he was just picking her up, and his hand slipped. Why he was hanging out with someone a third of his age in the first place and
Here
picking
we
her
go
up,
again.
well, he explains that away too. In his words, he liked her because she was not judgmental. In reality, it was probably because he thought she was an easy target, just like the 91-year-old victim. And clearly, he was wrong on both accounts.
So help us understand Randy John.
Eat a banana on stream. Me and the boys think it'll look really cool. If I had a banana, I would totally eat it, but I would probably make it into a smoothie, and then I would just drink it. So, do I have any tattoos? Nah. I thought about it. Thought about getting some. You don't like this? You don't have a banana. I can DoorDash you one. But you have to eat a whole.
That was side door.
So is that the porch door, or is that the
Living at the piano.
living room door? Okay, and then what happened?
Man, I think you and the boys got some weird fantasies.
I was just kind of looking around first.
Gotta stay hard, man. Okay, I agree with you there. Grenade, 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 ring, 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 rang, 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 rang. I don't know, I turned to rang it somehow. It's moist critical. What are you talking about? They call me Asmund Bronze. Do you know anyone who could eat a banana real quick for me and my boys? Do I know anybody? You could keep on, I don't know. There's probably videos of them doing that already on YouTube. Just search for that, and there's probably like 50 videos of them doing that. wish I was balling like that, dude. Well, if you got really gay vibes, don't bring them around here, man.
That predates the Hindu religion tells
It's time to learn about Agartha.
In India, a truly ancient legend that predates the Hindu religion tells of a large island of unparalleled beauty that long ago lay in the center of a vast Central Asian sea, just north of the modern-day Himalayas. A race of godlike people with strange powers lived isolated on the island, uncommunicating with the outside world, except through a number of deep tunnels, which stretched out in all directions, each hundreds or thousands of miles long, burrowing underneath whole continents
We are
and
mole
even
people.
oceans. On this isolated island, society flourished at an extraordinary rate. Science and the arts developed peacefully, never threatened by wars or epidemics, remaining purposefully hidden to protect their wealth of knowledge from the calamities that habitually plagued their brothers and sisters in the outside world.
Perfect society.
But a tremendous force was soon to befall the earth, and even this utopia was doomed to destruction if they stayed their place. Perhaps a great flood, or an invading force of epic proportions. The exact reason is not known. But the story tells that the people of the island
We
escaped
don't know.
by moving their society into those tunnels and rebuilding their civilization entirely underground.
Oh, phone them.
No longer an island, but a subterranean kingdom, leaving no trace on the surface but the entrances to their tunnels, most caved in over thousands of years. For the purposes of our investigation, this lost empire will be known as Agartha.
That's
The
what
hidden
we call it.
paths to Agartha that survived are still said to exist in the ancient ruined cities of India, such as Ellora, Elephanta, and the Ajanta caverns, as well as in other countries, such as in the recess of Afghanistan, in the Hindu Kush.
Hindu Kush.
This legend of the island is particularly strange, because if taken absolutely literally, obviously there is no ocean north of the Himalayas, but instead the Taklamakan and Gobi deserts. But if we took a trek into the arid, weather-bleached peaks of Everest, K2, or Kanchenjunga, you may be advised not to trip over the countless fish bones, coral reef remnants, and fossils of sea lilies littered across some of the tallest peaks. It's a lesser-known fact that the mighty Himalayas, often called the roof of the world, were once underwater, and that was the Tethys Sea, before the massive geological event known as the continental drift took place, and India collided into Eurasia, where it remains to this day. But what about those tunnels that supposedly stretch across the world? Why do parallel myths of gods or godlike people living in vast underground cities, protected from calamities above, appear in traditions and cultures across multiple continents, from Africa to America to Asia, tracing its roots back to the dawn of civilizations and perpetuated by the men who, through eyewitness testimony, have claimed to have visited the lost civilization themselves within the inner earth. I'm Mr. Mythos, and I welcome you to Truth or Lore. Be sure to subscribe if you love the mysteries of history like I do. Every sub is a massive support to the videos I make on my channel. The concept of Agartha is deceivingly simple. An inner earth kingdom linked to every continent of the world by means of an extensive network of tunnels. But our investigation is not an easy one. For such an expansive and archaic topic that is typically skewed with conspiracy theories, the truth of a genuine inner earth civilization that may still exist today remains in obscure documents, the riddles of Buddhist lamas, and the lost teachings of a so-called cult of Agartha, all of which we'll be exploring in this video. And of course, tunnel mythologies across the globe. But we may want to begin with a studious Frenchman by the name of Alexandre Sontiev, and the rather bizarre circumstances of how he came to be acquainted with the secret world, accidentally letting it loose into the minds of Westerners, where the land of Agartha continues to be speculated upon and even searched for to this day. Alexandre Sontiev today is an enigmatic, almost unknown figure, but in the 19th century, the writings and teachings of this respected philosopher and occultist paved the foundation of French esoteric tradition, and this was largely due to his unquenchable curiosity for the mysteries of the world. Having gained much wisdom learning ancient Hebrew for his breakthrough work, Mission of the Jews, Sontiev was keen to deepen his understanding of the world and unlock more secrets through the even older language of Sanskrit, ancestor to all modern Indo-European tongues. And in 1885, he hired a teacher. Through a mutual connection, Sontiev was introduced to a man who called himself Prince Harji Sharif, an impressive scholar who supposedly left India after the Indian Rebellion of 1857 and set up shop in France as a bird seller and professor of the Oriental languages. His true origins, however, are hazy. It is long thought that Harji was actually Afghan and perhaps went under a pseudonym. Nonetheless, the surviving manuscripts of their lessons, preserved in the library of Sorbonne and written in exquisite script, prove that he was highly learned in what he taught, and likely nobility. The mystery of Agartha was actually planted in the title of their very first lesson together. First lesson in the Sanskrit language to Mission Marquis Sontiev d'Elvedre Paris, this 8th of June, 1885, by teacher and professor H.S. Bhagwandas of the Great Agarthian School. Sontiev intently asked his teacher, what was this Great Agarthian School? Only to receive vague answers and continue on with the lesson. But the French occultist didn't give up easily. Studying with Harji 3 times a week, several notebooks were compiled, including excerpts from their informal conversations together, written out in Sanskrit, which contained phrases such as elements for the Agarthian rite alone for the use of initiates, the Holy Land of Agartha, and how was he able to leave Agartha. Over the course of their lessons, it becomes clear that Harji did talk at length with Sontiev about some land of Agartha and its mysterious protector, the Master of the Universe, who was in many ways a spiritually and physically superior being to any other in the world. Whatever Agartha truly was, This realm was supposed to preserve great wisdom and ancient knowledge, most notably to Saint-Yves, a secret 22-letter script known as Vatanian, which Harji told him went all the way back to the origins of civilization, precisely 51,900 BC, the confusion of the languages, and since then had been kept solely within the protected libraries of Agartha. If you watched my last video on Enochian, you'll know that Vatanian is another example of a proposed primordial or Adamic language. Harji could write
How
this
the fuck would I
strange
know
language
that?
as fluently and beautifully as his French and Sanskrit. For Saint-Yves, who had long obsessed over the secret and sacred roots of language, Harji wrote his student's name in Vatanian characters, with a side note. Here, according to your ardent desire, but really, you are not yet sufficiently prepared for Vatanian. Slowly and surely.
Vatanian.
Very likely without his teacher's knowledge, Saint-Yves had amassed extremely detailed notes from his time with Harji Sharif and compiled them into a book entitled Mission of India in Europe, Mission of Europe in Asia. This work is, without a doubt, the first thorough description of Agartha in the Western world. Pay close attention, as these details will be important when we cross-compare with other sources. According to Saint-Yves, the hidden land of Agartha lies deep below the surface of the earth, somewhere in the mountain ranges of the Himalayas. This enormous underground complex of cities and a population of millions is ruled by a sovereign pontiff known as the Brahmatma, and his two colleagues, the...
Not really. I've probably driven through there. Never really hung out there, though.
Mahatma and the Mahanga, upholding
Why is it a good spot to visit?
the highest of values in their authority. As protectors of knowledge, the entire collected wisdom of the ages is enshrined in its massive stone libraries, engraved in pillars in Vatanian script. He goes on to reveal that the Agarthian civilization...
I'm in Portland right now. I'd like to visit more towns though. See how everyone else is living.
was once above ground, but driven under and concealed from the rest of the world at the onset of the Kali Yuga, the present Dark Age cycle of Hindu chronology, around the year 3200 BC. Agartha is prophesized to reveal itself to the surface once again, but only once the world above attains spiritual balance in our governance. Long has this hidden civilization enjoyed advancement of technology at a greater pace than our own, including gaslighting, railways, and air travel. And when describing one of their most prominent technologies, Saint-Yves accurately predicts fiber optics over 1 century before their invention. He describes, quote, electrical pathways, not made of steel, but of flexible glass, which do not imprudently deplete the carbon reserves of the planet, nor saddle it with an iron framework no less conducive to the spread of some cosmic plagues. Though Agarthian society flourishes largely in complete isolation, they keep careful record of the discoveries of modern man, even from the remotest regions, by means of a vast network of tunnels that span across Earth. But despite
watching a documentary about Agartha, I love the fuggler. Thank you. I just got it in the mail. I might have to buy the SpongeBob one now to go with that, Patrick.
this, Agarthians have evolved separately from the rest of the world for so many years that they developed two tongues with which they are able to speak two languages simultaneously. A detail Saint-Yves was particularly fond of sharing. As an unwavering literalist, Mission of India was not intended to be read as allegory or fantasy. The French occultist was dead serious in every word he wrote, and presented Agartha as a factual, geographic place that can be found if one knows where to look. The lessons went on 3 times a week, and Harji would sign each of Saint-Yves' notebook pages with his monogram as a mark of approval. But as the pages and lessons continued, his signature grew sketchier and more abstract, with less and less care put into it, until his monogram was no more than a small cross. Finally, his mark disappeared for good, and it was at this point that their Sanskrit lessons ended, for reasons unknown. At this same time, hundreds of copies of Saint-Yves' Mission of India had been printed and were ready to be distributed across France when he suddenly withdrew the book and ordered every copy to be burned. The only remaining was a manuscript in his personal possession, and this probably would have been lost to oblivion, but Saint-Yves, who had no children of his own, left his belongings to his stepchildren, who then passed it on to the famous French occultist, Dr. Jean Oncols, better known as Papou. When Papou published Mission of India in 1910, he omitted several parts of the manuscript, which remain lost to this day.
That'd be cool.
There have been various theories put forward as to why Saint-Yves ordered the destruction of his precious work. Some sources state that he acted under the orders of the great Agarthian school, as the wisdom revealed would not be understood, and publishing it would be like casting pearls before swine. While others go as far as to say that he was threatened with the dagger of the initiates if he were to reveal the secrets of Agartha. Regardless of the true reason, the public revelation of Agartha was ultimately withheld during Saint-Yves' life, but there is evidence that he remained true to his belief in the lost civilization. For example, he mentions Agartha and his 3 rulers by name in his epic poem from 1890, Joan of Arc Victorious. In his conversations with
do they still have those Coney Island hot dogs there? Those, like, is that still a thing? Like, isn't that where they, if you find them, maybe? That's what's up. Like, isn't that where they started the, like, let me ask AI. Tell me about the hot dogs from Coney Island, like the original ones.
The original
Feedback.
Coney Island hot dogs are a tale of 2 different styles, the Nathan's famous Frankfurter and the Coney Island dog, often associated with Michigan. The Nathan's original, in 1916, Polish immigrant Nathan Handwerker opened a stand on Surf Avenue. His original was an all-beef Frankfurter flavored with a secret spice blend developed by his wife Ida, featuring garlic and paprika. They are famous for their natural lamb casing, which provides a distinct snap when bitten. The Coney Island style, chili. Interestingly, the Coney dog topped with chili, mustard, and onions didn't actually originate at the beach. It was popularized by Greek and Macedonian immigrants in the Midwest who named it after the famous New York destination. The sauce, a beanless savory meat sauce, often made with ground beef heart. The toppings, strictly yellow mustard and finely diced white onions. The bun. Always a soft, steamed side-loading bun. Quick comparison.
Anyways, now I'm craving hot dogs.
With psychical researcher Alfred Ernie in 1896, he stated many details of Agartha just as they appear in his book, and again insisted on their existence. Finally, he mentions Agartha in veiled terms in the major work of his final years, the Archaeometer. Why did Alexandre Saint-Yves find this odd and outlandish idea of Agartha so irresistibly fascinating, but more than that, genuinely believable? We can take a guess that during his previous period of learning the Hebrew language and studying the Jewish tradition of Kabbalah for his work, Mission of the Jews, he came across the ancient revelation that not only was the Garden of Eden, an actual physical utopia located on Earth, but more accurately, deep within the planet, and could be reached by traveling through a cave. Specifically, this cave is the real-life location known as the Cave of the Patriarchs, branded by Jews as the Cave of Machpelah, and to Muslims as the Sanctuary of Abraham, serving as one of the most holy pilgrimage sites in both religions. Stated clearly in the Zohar, the foundational work of Jewish Kabbalah, as well as in other ancient sources from the region between Israel and the Dead Sea, the Garden of Eden should indeed be thought of as an inner earth kingdom. The timely parallel of Eden and Agartha should not be surprising though, as one considers that the belief in another, more holy world inside of our planet Earth is easily one of the most consistent motifs in mythology. I can hardly begin to count the number of ancient cultures which allude to the inner realms of Earth, if not an entire civilization that resides there. Just in North America, for instance, the Navajos believe that their ancestors emerged from a subterranean world under the Navajo Mountains. The Aztecs feel that they were one of 7 tribes that came out of the caverns of Aztlan. The leaders of the Creek tribes state overtly that the earth opened up in the west and the Creeks came out. The Pawnee story of creation tells that all living things came from under the ground. The Zuni believe that in the old days, all men lived in caves at the center of the earth. And again with the tunnels, there is an old Apache legend about a long and deep cave in Arizona which is said to lead to an inner earth kingdom inhabited by a mysterious tribe. I could go on about the legends found in Central America, South America, and in other continents, which I will expound upon later in this video, particularly with closer parallels to Agartha, such as the lost city of Shambhala, and especially those legends which describe a network of tunnels. But for now, I will leave you with this quote from the book Records of the Past, written by the influential Assyriologist Archibald Seiss. There is a dwelling which the gods created for the first human beings, a dwelling in which they became great and increased in numbers, and the location of which is described in words exactly corresponding to those of Iranian, Indian, Chinese, Eddaic, and Aztecan literature, namely in the center of the earth. Saint-Yves' second-hand account of Agartha probably would have been forgotten as a wild romp of the imagination if it weren't for a Polish scientist named Ferdynand Ossendowski, who, in 1922, published the book Beast, Men, and Gods, an account of his escape into Central Asia, fleeing from the Bolsheviks in the aftermath of the Russian Revolution. Dr. Ossendowski stated that during his travels in Mongolia, there were many times when both men and beasts stopped in their tracks, silent and still, often crouching, their attention fixated on the ground. He wrote, quote, "Earth and sky ceased breathing. The wind did not blow, and the sun did not move. All living beings, in fear, were involuntarily thrown into prayer and waiting for their fate." Eventually, he asked an old Mongol shepherd who he had become acquainted with what was happening in these moments. "Thus it has always been," the shepherd explained. "Whenever the king of the world in his underground palace prays and searches out the destiny of all peoples on the earth." Though the shepherd did not give a name for this place, he stated that there live the invisible rulers of all pious people, the king of the world, or Brahitma, who can speak with God as I speak with you, and his two assistants, Mahitma, knowing the purposes of future events, and Mahinga, ruling the causes of those events. He knows all the forces in the world and reads all the souls of mankind and the great book of their destiny. This story stuck with Dr. Ossendowski throughout his journey, and he would frequently stop to speak with Buddhist monks and lamas about traditions associated with caves, caverns, and tunnels in the region. On multiple occasions, a name for the place was given, the Kingdom of Agartha, which he himself dubbed the Mystery of Mysteries. This underground source was said to channel miraculous power to Tibetan monks and the Dalai Lama in particular, powers that outsiders could scarcely begin to appreciate. But still, there existed an even more powerful man than the Dalai Lama. This man being the king of the world in Agartha. His enormous power was such that he could destroy whole areas of the planet at will if he chose to, and it could equally be harnessed, for instance, as a means of propulsion for vehicles of transport. Modern readers of Ossendowski point out that his 1922 recounting is a possible prediction of nuclear energy, such as the atomic bomb and nuclear-powered aircraft, a real technology today which is still considered too dangerous for civilian use. There are many obvious parallels in Dr. Ossendowski's account and that of Saint-Yves. Most notably, the notion of a hidden subterranean kingdom named Agartha and its triple spiritual authority known as the Brahitma, Mahitma, and Mahinga, which are slightly altered spellings or pronunciations of Saint-Yves, Agartha, Brahmatma, Mahatma, and Mahanga. At first glance, we may be inclined to think that Ossendowski simply plagiarized Saint-Yves, who wrote Mission of India 36 years before Ossendowski's account was published. This would be the obvious case, if not for a few factors. First, Dr. Ossendowski kept a daily journal and even brought back many items from his travels through Mongolia, thus providing evidence that his journey actually occurred. Second, he was investigated by the French philosopher and Vedic scholar René Guénon, who wrote that, quote, "He has affirmed to us that he had never read Saint-Yves, whose name was even unknown to him before the French translation of his book. And for our part, we have no reason to doubt his sincerity." Guénon, however, was not satisfied with his investigation and contacted his Eastern colleagues for more information, which he eventually compiled 2 years later in his book, The King of the World, which examined the legend of Agartha specifically. Compellingly, Guénon stated that, independently of the evidence offered by Ossendowski, we know through other sources that stories of this kind are widely current in Mongolia and throughout Central Asia, and we can add that there is something similar in the traditions of most peoples. And he again affirmed that Dr. Ossendowski's charge of plagiarism is wholly unfounded. Over those 2 years of independent research, Guénon had been informed of a vast underground network of caverns and tunnels, some running for hundreds of miles, which were thought to eventually lead to a true center of world governance, a place described very much like the legend of the island, surviving the ebb and flow of civilizations and catastrophes on Earth by remaining hidden deep underground, an impenetrable vault of all of history's knowledge and wisdom. Near the end of his book, Guénon debates the ontological question of whether Agartha is a true-to-life geographic location, or perhaps simply a metaphorical concept. Here, he brings up a point that is often associated with Vajrayana Buddhism, which is that their concepts have both an inner and outer meaning. The inner, of course, implies that of deep understanding and spiritual attainment. The outer, however, plain and simple, is the notion that it actually physically exists, and in this case, a powerful and ancient kingdom hidden under the surface of the earth. Even if we decide to discount the writings of Guénon, Ossendowski, and Saint-Yves, believe it or not, there are actually 3 independent sources for Agartha, proving that this concept and name was not an invention of 19th century Western occultists. The first definite independent source is the manuscripts of Prince Harji Sharif, written before he met Saint-Yves, making them the only concrete evidence that the term Agartha comes from an Eastern origin. The second independent source is a book written by the historian Louis Jacoliot in 1873, 12 years before Saint-Yves began his Sanskrit lessons, making this the earliest verifiable mention of the subterranean kingdom. Jacoliot, a magistrate in Chandernagore, South India for many years, had an insatiable thirst for collecting sacred texts and tales from the East and sharing them with the Western world. And in 1873, he wrote of a city of the sun known as Asgartha, which was ruled by successive Brahmatras, ancient Indian priest kings, until a conquest by an invading force threatened the land 10,000 years ago. 2 years later, in 1875, he expanded on his account of Asgartha, for the first time implying that it was hidden underground. This unknown world, of which no human power, even now when the land above has been crushed under the Mongolian and European invasions, could force a disclosure, is known as the Temple of Asgartha. Those who dwell there are possessed of great powers and have knowledge of all the world's affairs. The third possible independent mention of Agartha may actually predate Jacoliot. In 1871, the French philosopher and theologian Ernest Renan described Asgard, the city of the gods in Norse mythology, as being located in Central Asia. This is not a confirmed reference, but it is definitely strange to read of a utopian land so phonetically and geographically close to that which Jacoliot described just 2 years later. These 3 writings of Harji, Jacoliot, and Renan in tandem are evidence that Agartha itself is not just a Western fantasy, but possibly a myth that goes much further back in the East. And while the oldest myth in this video may very well be that of the island, our next stop comes in second, the legendary hidden city of Shambhala. For millennia, belief in this inner earth utopia was at the core of nearly every Tibetan tradition, and references to it can be found in various ancient texts, such as the Hindu Vishnu Purana, where Shambhala is predicted to be the birthplace of Kalki, the prophesied 10th avatar of the god Vishnu. But it's most notably detailed in the Tibetan Kalachakra, the ancient and foundational Buddhist text, which was allegedly taken from Shambhala itself. Still, the magnitude of this kingdom's influence only begins to make itself known when we consider that it actually predates the Tibetan Buddhist religion and is confirmed to go as far back as the extinct Shangshung culture, as well as referred to in the Bon scriptures by the moniker Tagzig Olmo Lungring. On that note, Shambhala is famously known as the Land of 1,000 Names. It has been called the Forbidden Land, the Land of White Waters, Radiant Spirits, and Living Fire, and the Land of the Living Gods. The Chinese called it the Western Paradise of Shiwangmu. To the old believers of Russia, it is known as the Kingdom of Opona. Hindus called it Aryavartha, the Land of the Worthy Ones, and perhaps it is one and the same as Saint-Yves Agartha. According to Saint-Yves, the name Agartha means inaccessible to violence in Vatanian. Shambhala is a Sanskrit word meaning place of peace. This is but the first parallel between the two. The lines of distinction blur as we learn that Shambhala is said to be deep within the earth itself, a green valley with a beautiful city where extraordinary people live, isolated from the outside world by their own choosing and ruled by a benevolent and powerful king. It's a place where love and wisdom reign, and where people are immune to suffering, want, and old age. More so, Shambhala is always spoken of as a place which really exists. The Hidden Kingdom is supposed to be situated in the mountainous regions of Eurasia, typically thought of as a vast complex of inhabited caverns underneath the Himalayas. Some legends say that the entrance to Shambhala is obscured within some abandoned monastery in a remote valley.
What you up to, Bruce?
It may or may not be important to note that several writers throughout the years have stated that the word Agartha appears in the 1774 scripture on Shambhala, written by the 6th Panchen Lama. Unfortunately, this is difficult for me to verify due to the obscurity of the text.
I'm learning about it.
Perhaps the most significant popularizer of the myth of Shambhala in the West was the controversial Russian occultist and philosopher Helena Blavatsky, who studied in Tibet under the tutelage of Buddhist lamas from 1868 until late 1870, and eventually traveled through Asia in search of information about Shambhala, and particularly its connection to the legend of the island north of the Himalayas. In notes and journals published after her death, we find that Blavatsky had investigated a collection of...
That's when the rats are outside and some of the weirdest people come out at nighttime.
old books preserved in the Chinese province of modern-day.
But I wish I knew some better places to go at nighttime, because I wish, like, you know, there's some places that are open, but I don't know what places are, like, cheap, or, like, which places are good to hang out at, like, just good hangout spots. I haven't really tried that many places here.
Fujian, which she describes as the chief headquarters of the Chinese Aboriginals. There, many ancient texts regard the region of Tibet as the great seat of occult learning in the Archaic Ages, inhabited by teachers of light, sons of wisdom, and brothers of the sun, these terms referring to those versed in the esoteric doctrine taught by the residents of the sacred island. Blavatsky writes quite vividly as follows. With respect to the traditions concerning this island, and apart from the historical records of it preserved in the Chinese and Tibetan sacred books, the legend is alive to this day among the people of Tibet. The fair island is no more, but the country where it once bloomed remains here still, and the spot is well known to some of the great teachers of the snowy mountains. however much convulsed and changed its topography may have been by the awful cataclysm. According to the general belief, it is situated in the northwest of Tibet. Some place it within the unexplored central regions, inaccessible even to fearless nomadic tribes. Others hem it in between the range of the Gangdise Mountains and the northern edge of the Gobi Desert, south and north, and the more populated regions of Kunduz and Kashmir, of Gya Felin, British India, and China, west and east, which affords to the curious mind a pretty large latitude to locate it in. Others still place it between Namur Nur and the Kunlun Mountains, but one and all firmly believe in Shambhala and speak of it as a fertile, fairy-like land, once an island, now an oasis of incomparable beauty, the place of meeting of the inheritors of the esoteric wisdom of the godlike inhabitants of the legendary island. And such an oasis is purported to remain underground. Thus, many have searched, but never has it been found. The painter and archaeologist Nicholas Roerich famously made a 15,000-mile, 5-year trek that cost the lives of 5 of his men in search of Shambhala. In his travel diary, Roerich wrote that the closest they had gotten to the hidden kingdom was in the Altai Mountains in the valley of Umon, when an old sage led them to a small abandoned temple and revealed the entrance to a tunnel blockaded by carefully cut stones. He assured them that Shambhala would reveal itself when the world was ready. Until that day, humanity may only speculate with grandiose legends of what could be. Going full circle, from all my research, I can deduce a few things, which I encourage you to debate in the comments. First, that Agartha is likely another name for Shambhala, and Shambhala itself is a direct reference to the legend of the island. Second, based upon millennia of belief and centuries of testimony, as well as the presence of extensive and unexplored caverns in the region, if Agartha really exists, it's likely located beneath the Hindu Kush Himalayan region. Many hydrological tests carried out by spelunking expeditions suggest the existence of large-scale caves below the surface, but so far the vast majority have remained inaccessible, and we know that this mountain range was once the bed of an ocean floor. Third, that it is genuinely very strange that in every continent of our planet, we find a multitude of legends telling of deep tunnels that lead to a hidden underground godlike civilization. And with that, it's now time to travel the world and investigate a few of my personal favorites, all of which are true mysteries in of themselves. We return back to the Cave of the Patriarchs, the supposed gateway to the inner earth realm of the Garden of Eden. In this cave, many artifacts have been recovered that are thousands of years old, though no one has been able to venture deeper than the first few chambers. Like the Egyptian pyramids, it's thought that there are many hidden chambers and passageways that are yet to be discovered. The chambers that are currently known were found by removing boulders and blockages, and one room was revealed by removing a specific square stone that was marked differently than others near it. Because of the Cave of the Patriarchs' religious significance, access to the caves themselves are almost always barred, even to archaeologists, and it's only been during times of political turmoil, such as for a brief period after the Six-Day War, that we've been able to explore and gather artifacts from the caves. There are only 2 known entrances, and both are sealed, one by a metal grate which is then covered by a dome, and the other is blocked by a large stone. We really have no idea how deep this cave goes. In Mayan mythology, there's an underground realm known as Xibalba, the land that the sun goes down into, which is inhabited by godlike people, their civilization supposedly vanishing before recorded history. The Maya's sacred narrative, the Popol Vuh, describes actual structures and locations said to be part of Xibalba, and places its entrance in Guatemala. Today in Guatemala, an astonishing 500 miles of tunnels have been mapped underneath the Mayan pyramid complex known as Tikal. There remains a mystery of how 500,000 Mayans escaped the decimation of their culture, and modern researchers believe the key lies in these tunnels. In Mexico, 11 subterranean stone temples and an ancient underground road have been found. And in May of 2020, archaeologists discovered a secret tunnel 10 meters underneath the Pyramid of the Moon in Teotihuacan using subsurface imaging technology. No one has been able to enter the tunnel yet, or even find an entrance, and its true extent and purpose remain unknown. In Egypt, ancient historians made a number of references to a network of passages connecting the major pyramids, the Sphinx, and other underground locations. In particular, a colossal underground city of 3,000 chambers, lavishly decorated, known in Egyptian legends as the City of the Gods. In the 5th century BC, the Greek historian Herodotus wrote the following: "There I saw 12 palaces regularly disposed, which had communication with each other, interspersed with terraces and arranged around 12 halls. It is hard to believe that they are the work of man. The walls are covered with carved figures, and each court is exquisitely built of white marble and surrounded by a colonnade. Near the corner where the labyrinth ends, there is a pyramid, 240 feet in height, with great carved figures of animals on it, and an underground passage by which it can be entered. I was told very credibly that underground chambers and passages connected this pyramid with the pyramids at Memphis. This claim was backed up 500 years later with a matching account from the Greek historian Strabo. Yet this city of the gods remains unfound. It's a fact that the Giza Plateau has an enormous underground system that is a combination of man-made tunnels, natural caverns, and subterranean rivers, which have been continuously discovered and mapped since 1978. And in ancient times, Giza was known as Rostau, which literally translates to mouth of the passages, a direct reference to the entrance of the Egyptian mythological underworld. Certainly, this is a strange one, but perhaps not as Agarthian as the net.
At Walden University, we get the W.
We create opportunities, not wait for them.
We look forward, not back. We focus.
Stupid ads.
I think it's a public mailbox. That's how we stay.
Well put. Over 2,000 people who are watching right now. Hit like, hit subscribe. We appreciate you guys being here. I put Jenny Jingles to work today. She was checking out the episode from Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
First, she was checking out the episode from yesterday, but it turned out to be just John.
Political.
Hearing Brian Tarum.
So boring.
Yeah. So we're looking at the Saturday show. Jen, what did you pick up?
Well, he launches into trashing Shuli right off the bat, and that's my clip 2.
Okay.
Hell, I didn't sign up for this.
Oh, sorry.
You know it. It's unbelievable
how easily you sheep are duped by a high school dropout. I mean, it's unfathomable considering he's unlikable. Everyone hated him at Stern. He's a high school dropout.
I mentioned that already.
His best friend is doing time for being a pedophile. The same friend that came up with the title of his show and his network.
Oh, is that true? Why am I still hanging out with Shuey? I had no idea that was going on. Wow.
I don't know if it's true. He gave me Red Bull air quotes.
Yeah. His producer now pulled a gun on a 77-year-old, got arrested, and got his ass kicked.
So much cooler crime, if I can say,
right.
producer-wise, and looks like I've learned my lesson.
Sure.
Not the right guy now.
I didn't know what. He just launched into this with no explanation or anything. That's the first thing he said on his show, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, bud, but...
I think you watched the documentary, right? At least some of it?
I think that's where we're
pointing it
going
out.
now, because clip 3, John starts talking about moles, not
But
skin moles.
this is who you would rather believe, like this Chris Pike guy, who was on the Puppet Show. Now,
Okay, so it's very funny. Jen, follows this stuff as much as anyone can. But, you wouldn't know any of what's going on.
No, I didn't.
On the puppet shows, earlier that day, B. Dabler had this guy who's been sending pizza everyone call into the show. And then Vince the lawyer called in, and those two guys started talking to each other. And Johnny provides zero context of any of this. It just goes into this. The Chris Pike was on the puppet show. Like, what?
Because he's too lazy to even watch, Carl. This is all stuff that's coming to him from Jerry and
good
Ava.
point.
It's all secondhand information, and this guy, when he gets a message, it's like the telephone game. Except he's the only one playing, and by the time by the time it comes
just
out,
takes one person.
yeah, it's a completely different fucking. What was it? A Purple Monkey dishwasher of The Simpsons, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's also too lazy to set up his story with anything. So people coming in, it's like he's lazy about that too.
Well, to Shuey's point, because he doesn't know. He's just repeating what he was told.
the whole problem and the whole narrative that you losers are missing is the following. When I said Shitware was my mole, we also said Brent Hatley was our mole. We also said JD Maya was our mole. We also said Mehmet was our mole. And that's a fact check. And even Liquid Cryptid, who I'm not a fan of since he just steals my content, but even he.
By the way, that channel's down, right? It's gone.
Yeah.
Did John
He's on
strike that?
Rumble. He's on Rumble.
Okay. Good
Shout
to
out to
know.
Liquid Cryptid on Rumble.
Yeah, Cryptid, awesome. But I was looking for him the other day. It looked like he was gone, so someone struck him.
Played the clip where Royce and I said other people were our moles as well.
This defense is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
John's like, was I trying to get Shuley fired? Yeah, but I was also trying to get Brent Hatley fired, Matt fired. I was trying to get everyone fired. Why is that a good thing, you idiots?
and why? That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And why would you do that?
The more the better for him.
Well, that was always my question from when all this started. When he started with the mole rumors and then the summit summit meeting video. The one thing I kept saying to myself is, why? Why is this guy, like, we've never had a beef. We never had a problem. I interacted with him as much as I interacted with Howard, but very briefly, because every time I would call in, John was usually the guy answering the phones. So, I don't understand where this all came from, other than the guy's just pissed that he's not there anymore, and he doesn't like the people that are there now, and
He
this
never
is what
even
he's
met
gonna do about
J.D. Harmeyer and tried to get him fired.
Yeah, with some
What's your
really
beef with
nasty
JD?
and really nasty accusations and like way below the belt. It's not a bit. It's not a fucking, you know. He's
Well,
a
wasn't
scumbag.
it? Not to give this air, but I've heard things that's probably true. But wasn't JD like being creepy with women or something like that? It's like that has nothing to do with his job on the Howard Stern show.
The whole show was creepy with women.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But why you reach out to SiriusXM's HR department with this shit? It's nothing to do with anything.
They pitched wrapping a naked woman up in carpet and running her up and down in an elevator. Like there wasn't, you know. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Right.
JD's a fucking weirdo. Everybody is.
John is creepy with women.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Very creepy with women.
He's a
Oh my
sex
goodness.
pest.
I can't even watch him when he starts talking to women. It's just, and the faces he makes, they're like, oh goodness, it's just,
He's a cool.
this guy hasn't been, in 5 years, it's got to be at least 5 years that he's been laid. And he talked about having a date the other day. I'm going, that's a lie. I can't imagine any woman meeting him and saying, yeah, let's get together. No woman is that thirsty. No woman is that hungry. Okay.
What did you do to George Costanza at some point? Just go, I'm going to do everything the opposite of what I'm doing. Nothing's working for me. I'm going to do everything. And if John came on and was just like, oh, Ashley, you look like shit. What a dumb bitch you are. Like, he might start getting his dick wet again.
He will never get his dick wet.
Listen, you could be a loser. You could be ugly. You could be anything. But once you get labeled creepy, it's over. Creepy
Can't come back from that.
Nope.
Good point.
So, my clip 4 is, what's the shitwares narrative then?
It was obviously not directed at the shitware. It was obviously directed at getting Baba Booey and Howard to go crazy trying to see, but I knew they weren't even watching. They didn't care. They didn't know anything about it. So for the shitware to make this his narrative on why I'm such a piece of shit is such.
Well said.
So wait, did John just say he was doing that to fuck with Baba Booey and Howard?
Yes.
But then he also admitted that he knew that they weren't watching it,
Yes.
and so that wasn't going to do anything because at the time, John said multiple times that he knows for a fact Gary listens to his show, and that's what feeds content for Howard's show.
Yes.
So now he's saying he knew they didn't watch. So then what is the point of this? Okay, so if they're not listening, and you're saying that Shuli's the mole, then who is that for then?
Right.
That's a good question.
Right. If a podcast airs in the woods, and
right, yeah.
Well, also the fact that he's like his official narrative. There are many reasons why we are at this point. There isn't one particular thing that you've done, John, that I'm like, I'm gonna go after this guy. It was just building and building and building, and I just had enough.
But also, can I just say, because Shuli, for whatever reason, came on WATP the first couple times. Like John was a regular segment. She was like, I don't want to go there. He's taking the high road, which he didn't have to do at all.
No.
There was no reason why you needed to take the high road. John's always been a prick to everyone. He's always lashed out at everyone, and she was just like, nah, I'm better than that. I'm not going to do that. Until the point where it's just like, why the fuck wouldn't he?
Right.
Why wouldn't Shuli start clowning this guy? He's the most clownable guy in the universe.
And John gets into all of this.
And it's fun. It's so fun to do. I can tell that Shuli was chopping at the bit, like, oh, I really want to do a John segment. Like, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, why I waited so long, I don't know, but we're here now.
Thank God you figured it out.
Well, I will tell you this: John is not good at doing a sheep impression, and that's clip 5.
Oh, don't have.
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna tell you, don't have a clip 5.
Oh, why?
It's missing. It didn't show up in your upload. I know that's the one I don't have. I was hoping you were gonna say there is no clip 5.
Well,
do you want to do it for us? Do you want to
No,
reenact?
I don't even know if I don't even know if I can do it.
I have the audio drop of him doing. He says, "You're all sheep," and then does this sound.
Yeah, that's it.
Even the sheep stutters.
Shout out to Mars. Thanks for getting that for me.
Thanks, Mars.
Yeah, well,
right.
John's a truth teller, and he's got the receipts, and that's clip 6.
Okay.
But this is Rick right there is proof of everything that I'm saying. Shitware, the only reason. Okay.
All right. Get it together.
Start over.
If I show you the DMs between me and Shitware, everything was fine with us after I said he was the mole. That's a fact check. I have the receipts.
Okay.
And then he goes on to read some of those chats, and that's clip 7.
Right.
We were tweeting each other way after I said he was a mole. So here we are.
Let's see.
I could show this to you, I guess. And then on October 16th of 2019, I say, hey man, just wanted you to let know off the record that we were not targeting you. It could have been anybody sitting there. Jason Will, JD Mehmet. As I said to Ronnie, the guy needs his comeuppance. Not guys, I meant Howard Stern.
What?
And I asked him to come on my show in 2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a crazy thing to type.
So this is after the lobby thing in the hotel.
Yep.
And he sends me a DM going, hey man, we weren't targeting you. This is after all the mold shit, and he comes and interviews me in the lobby. Hey, it could have been anyone. Meanwhile, he didn't go and interview anyone else. They were all behind me. So I don't respond, right? I don't. All this back and forth he's talking about is not a back and forth. It's John DMing me when he needs or wants something, and then insulting me when I don't reply.
Okay.
Well, I'm going right to clip 9 because that's when John addresses that specifically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he grabbed it from Chuck against
Those questions obviously weren't pointed at the shitware. The proof's in the pudding. They were generics, as we used to call them, goofing on Howard Stern and Baba Booey. That was it. Could have been anybody. Shitware just happened to be the dumb fuck that was sitting closest to the lobby.
Yeah, I'm a big dumb idiot that sits in the lobby of the hotel.
You just happen to be the closest one to him.
Why the fuck are you near the elevators, you idiot? Why did you
Why do they make lobbies? Why do they make lobbies if you don't want people sitting in them, assholes?
Why did you let someone steal your RO system, Carl, you fucking moron? Like, you one of the weirdest insults you've ever heard.
You're so stupid. And then he gets into the whole how Lady K gives you permission to do a show about him.
Oh my god, this is a rerun. We've heard this so many fucking times.
He's a rerun.
I know. Is this clip time?
Yes. Yeah.
Lady K himself. He said, when Shitware asked me if he could do the same thing I was doing, I figured, why not? John's streaming every day. So there's plenty of John to go around. But then when I went away, he said, shit, now there's not plenty of John.
Okay.
There's plenty of you, John.
Fun tale.
Oh. Yeah, but John's better than all of us because he doesn't talk about just one person every day, all day, and that's clip 11.
Okay.
But let me ask all you losers like Rick and the rest of the sheep here. What? Why?
What a
play
pro.
Shitway clips on every fucking show.
Yes.
Oh wait.
Well, until he started striking
It's
us.
my show.
Right. No, he used to go to Shoeless Anonymous on every episode and just start scrolling and just start hitting play on whatever he could find down there.
His entire show.
Now he's above that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Is my show geared to the harassment of one individual?
No, you harass multiple individuals, and you try to get them fired, and you try to dox them, and it's very different.
How about you go after individuals' spouses and careers?
Yeah.
Fucking
And exes for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not exes are off limits. Oh, you can't talk to Suzanne. Okay.
Even the mob won't go after exes.
Do I sit here and fucking you say the same thing every single day?
Yes! That's what I was just saying!
About one person.
Are you going to wait for the answer? You didn't have to on that one. I was waiting.
I'll wait.
You don't have to.
Pete Chittisan? Chris Pike?
Blueberry yogurt.
The answer is no.
Courtroom John. Jury John.
I hate when he interviews himself. Am I the greatest broadcaster of all time? I am.
Yes, I am.
Thanks
I
for
ask
asking.
you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this not a sheep?
If you put that with the cord,
Did he call him sheep shitterson at any point? That's a missed opportunity.
he wouldn't come up with that. Well, I don't know. I didn't get all the way through. Maybe he figured it out.
Yeah, he's still struggling on GED.
Yeah. Well, he wants to know, I mean, who's the piece of shit here? Who is the piece of shit?
Let's find out.
That's Cook 12.
The answer is no. So who is the piece of shit here? Think about it.
Can I guess?
Wait.
I bet it's the Jewish guy.
I don't need them. They need me.
He's so stupid.
Yeah. He is
I
pretty
know
dumb.
I've said this before, but I am so glad he is not black because I'd have to strike your channel. And this
Yeah, I understand.
We wouldn't get this many episodes if this guy was black because people would be turning you off. You're talking about fatigue. Oh my goodness.
Thank God he's Puerto Rican. Is that what we're all saying right now? EDR, yes, I agree with you.
Well, no, he's part
European, but let's not bring that part up. Let's just focus
he's a
on.
statue, right?
That's right, yeah.
I know. I wish I could have gotten farther into this, but I ran out of time. But I have one more clip, and that's he talks about the two biggest whales in the Dabbleverse.
Oh, my wife again? This
When I was doing my show with Royce, how did this whole thing start? Lady K decided to include me in his review of podcasts, which I don't know how he has the right to review podcasts when he looks like this when he's broadcasting.
Exactly.
All right, Shuli. Now you're finally agreeing with John now.
Oh my God. I've been meaning to tell you for years. It's so annoying.
Oh. But either way, he decided to go after Opie, me, and a bunch of other shows, but he focused on the two biggest whales.
He is a big whale.
Yeah. Oh, like, Opie doesn't have the quality that John has in the sense his reaction to things.
Right.
Opie just kind of sets it up himself and walks into it himself, whereas John is like a toy, and people play with John.
John has said it himself. He shouldn't have reacted the way that he did to the review, because none of this would be happening if he had just been cool. But no, he's got to threaten to break people's legs, and
So that definitely accelerated things because he became a regular on the show because of the way he reacted to it.
Yeah.
However, I've said this before, the Dabbleverse would not become the Dabbleverse, it'd become something else. But John would be the biggest locale on the internet, regardless of whether WATP ever covered him or the Uncle Rico show started. There's no way people wouldn't have discovered this guy and be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And started covering it regularly.
Maybe.
And
But
there's new creators all the time. I'm glad.
I was just going to say, but I don't know. Would he have gotten enough ears on him
Gets
to?
in the way of eating.
I think so. I think people would have eventually figured it out. This is interesting. There's a new guy who's putting out videos, Dabbling Doofus. You guys see Dabbling Doofus yet?
I hear he's good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he is good. He is good.
Switch to TurboTax. File free in the app by 2/28. All 100% free. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Melendez Minute, where we're going to break down the John Melendez podcast from January 2nd and 3rd, starting with the Super Chat total for 2026. So take a look at it. We're up over $1,200 for about 11 hours of podcasting, which puts John about $100, $110 an hour, which is not bad for a deadbeat loser with absolutely no discernible skills.
So what this guy does is he's very focused on the amount of money that John's making. He has the totals up in the corner, and he'll go through and just recap the things that John talks about. Now, if you're listening to this, because we do put this out on our Patreon, people who like to listen to podcasts. So John, it's an animated version of John with the Duke background, but this guy's not trying to do a John impression or anything. He's just dabbling doofus.
Just the best John's ever looked, by the way.
No shit. You wish you.
I think I want to go to the store and get some hot Cheetos. Oh.
I wish the store wasn't so far. Like a bike ride sort. Like a bike ride. Damn, I guess I won't go right now. I have a very big list right now.
That was the movie star.
Picks up begging off the internet, so good on him. We've seen some pretty interesting changes in John now that he's so flush with cash. He switched his cheap ass beer from Busch Light cans to Michelob Ultra bottles, the premium stuff.
So this guy's more of just a journalist, you know?
Yeah.
Some of us like to do commentary. He's just...
He knows his shit. He knows his stuff, and he's right.
Yeah.
I don't you think John is like slightly, I mean, this sounds weird, but slightly flattered in a certain way? I mean,
yeah.
All this attention, and you would think he would look at, like I look at the Sheep Citizen thing and I go, my goodness, this guy took time out of his life to piece together something like this. Now, it may not be in the way you want it, but you go, damn, I'm actually influencing people enough where they go, I'm going to stop down from wherever he is. And I don't know, of course, to the at the end of the credits, they said there was a Mrs. Sheep Citizen who we thanked at the end of it. But I'm like, I'm taking it away from my life and my family to come up with something which is a piece of art. If nothing else, he should take it away and go, boy, this is pretty classy, pretty clever.
Yeah, but you're talking about a guy who's bothered by the way the documentary is put out, not by his actions, not by the stuff he's guilty of. That doesn't bother him at all. It doesn't even exist. There's an excuse for all of them. So he's done nothing wrong. And that kind of, shield up.
You want to know why the world ended? It started here.
Hey, right here, right now. We'll show you how.
When you push yourself as hard as I do, you need to have good habits. That includes staying ahead,
keeping healthy, and taking my car to Katie.
Yeah, there's no getting through that, man. There's nothing.
No, but he does take pride in that. He literally says, I'm the Duke of the Devilverse, none of this would exist without me. And I think there are times when he gets hit real hard with a lot of shit that he has to take on. And so in order to cope with that, it's back to, look at how important I am. There's this documentary that's coming out. Everyone's talking about it. I have a whole subreddit dedicated to me, and Shitwayer and Snaggletooth dedicate their fucking lives to me. And he loves it.
I thought for sure when he, at one point he started embracing what is DJ Dabble's The Downtown song.
Yeah.
And he thought, wow. And then I thought, oh wow, that's about me, and I sound pretty cool. All the mixes that DJ Dabble has done, if nothing else, makes him look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Forget the fact that DJ Dabble's put all his work in it and put it all together, it still makes him look pretty cool.
Yeah, John thinks he co-produced that with him, right?
Yeah, and I'm walking around singing those songs in my head,
I love that Just Do It made it into the documentary.
Yes. I love that's one of my favorites.
That's one of the better ones by. All right. Supertip.gg/WATP. Sean, the producer, is here, and he's enjoying it. The fact that John is threatening to go to Hackamania means that he's not going to Hackamania. I agree.
Yeah.
And the fact that he thinks that we'd be scared of that—that's the other thing too. All these fucking idiots. At one point, Gino's talking about going, and Karmic is talking about going, and Mersh and all these guys. Just like, everyone's welcome. Tickets are available. Hackamania.com. Promo code WATP. Everyone's welcome to come.
All those guys are in the Dabbleverse anyway. I mean, it's kind of like a Comic-Con, I would think.
It's their convention, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean, yeah,
it should be
it's
that.
like no matter what. Listen, even the villains show up at the Comic-Con.
Right.
So
exactly. Carter's illegitimate son says, "Me and Crazon are waiting for daddies to love us."
Always good to see producer Chris, but doesn't he know some people think blackface is wrong?
They got every character. Triton 47.
John is a pathological.
Sorry, what's that?
No, I said I want to be on one day with Kumia. That'd
be great.
No, and listen, I'm kind of a fan.
Actually, I think I will go to this one.
Let's see if they have some chicken there this time of night. Say what? Kiwi? No, there we go. No. I haven't been craving fruit too much lately. Oh yeah, and I thought I had lost my headphone case last night, but I didn't. I found it on the floor.
Right now is the time. If you have anything you want to tell me, because the store's not coming back here soon. I'm now. It's a little suspicious.
Meet Anthony Maurice Kennedy, a man who was caught on camera disposing of the body of his own girlfriend, Adriana Taylor. So he will pull any trick he can to throw detectives off his trail.
I don't want to any danger. I don't want your life to be in danger either, Anthony.
But lousy lies like these will only take him so far. Because when detectives find Adriana, they will realize that sitting in front of them is not at all the concerned boyfriend Anthony pretends to be.
We literally cracked the case with the sledgehammer. You know, that's just not anything inconsistent with all the other information we have on now. When something liquid came out, obviously we know what that is.
On November 13th, 2022, 911 dispatch in Cleveland, Ohio received a call from the concerned aunt of Adriana Taylor. The 23-year-old hadn't been seen since October 8th, and family members were beginning to fear the worst.
So my cousin, she's been missing for over a month. Around October 8th. Around October 8th, she made a phone call to us around 2-3 in the morning, and she was screaming and she was hysterical, and she said that the man that she had been dealing with was shooting at her, and that she had made it into the house and was trying to she ran upstairs. That's all she said, and then she was like, okay man, and hung up. That's it. And then after that, nobody has heard anything from her. We don't know where her car is at. We don't know where her phone is at.
While Adriana's whereabouts were uncertain, suspicion fell on one man, her 43-year-old boyfriend, Anthony Kennedy. The two had met at work and moved in together not long after, but the relationship soon became volatile, with Anthony constantly accusing Adriana of cheating and making increasingly terrifying threats to end her life. Detectives spoke with Anthony the next day, but he denied any involvement or knowledge in her disappearance. Investigators had no other evidence linking him to any alleged crime. But that would all change on Thanksgiving Day, when security footage from Anthony's sister's backyard showed someone fitting his description burying an object in concrete. But as of 2 weeks prior, Anthony was only a person of interest in Adriana's disappearance. As he voluntarily comes in for more questioning, they're hoping that all changes very soon. Will he stick to his denials? Or will he melt in the glare of the interrogation room's harsh lights? With Adriana still missing and time running out, detectives try their best to get the truth out of Anthony before it's too late. The following footage was provided by the Summit County Sheriff's Office.
Just to clarify a few things from our conversation yesterday, okay, I just want to make sure I got it right, in regards to, I'm trying to establish a timeline, okay? And it sounds like she's been bouncing around since she left your place, okay? Now, just so I got everything straight in regards to that, yesterday you told me that you guys were dating. You lived with you for a couple of months, but left about a month ago, right? Somewhere in, we're at the 15th day, so somewhere the beginning. About a month and a half, something like that. So by beginning of October? Beginning of October, into September. Okay, the 29th. All right, we don't need an exact date, but that gives me a better timeline. So end of September, beginning of October, okay? But she was living with you about 2 months prior to that, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be roughly August and September. She lives with you. Exactly. Roughly, give or take, right? Okay. All right. Now she, how long have you been? I know you're married, like you told me. Okay. How long were you dating her?
When she moved in, maybe a month previous, because I think a month previous she got fired. So, about 2 months, maybe like 3 months or so.
Before she, including when she moved in?
Yeah,
I think she got fired in July sometime.
Yeah, so it told us like 3 months.
Yeah, okay, so right after she got fired, because I know you had mentioned that they were questioning you about your relationship with her, yeah. And then you guys really weren't messing around at that point, but after she got fired, then you guys started to develop a relationship. Mm-hmm. Fair?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's good. How long have you been married, by the way?
Been married.
Oh, that's a good question.
Since July 15th.
Oh, this year? Oh, you guys are freshly married. Why are you messing around so quick?
Look, no. So
it's okay. It's irrelevant. Yeah, it's irrelevant. Yeah, that's okay. What's your wife's name, Anthony?
Natasha.
Natasha? Mm-hmm. Does she use your last name? What's her maiden name? I'm sorry? Mm-hmm. What's her date of birth? Do you know?
I got notice.
You better notice. We're on date.
The detectives have learned a great deal in the opening minutes of the interview, and none of it reflects kindly on Anthony. His relationship with Adriana had actually been an affair, and not only that, he was only married mere months ago. His wife's birthday won't be the only thing he has trouble remembering, but as he goes on to describe Adriana and his ex-wife's struggles with drugs, it soon becomes clear that this guy has a type: troubled girls who he can take advantage of.
So yesterday when we talked, you said you kicked Adriana out of the house essentially because she's been using, right? And how often was she using? You know,
That I'm not sure.
you're not sure.
Because
Was she using when she moved in?
that I'm not sure. I kind of like found out, you know what I mean? And for her track record looking at it, because I was thinking, I thought maybe she had to run a bad luck, but then I realized that, you know, there was all these rumors about, oh, she's doing this, she's doing that, you know, I don't constantly her, you know what I mean, anything like that. Unless I physically see it, I don't know, right? So she was living with her cousins. They jumped her and kicked her out. Then she was living with someone else. Then they kicked her. And this is months at a time. The longest period, I think she's been somewhere like maybe 6 months, maybe a year. And then she lived with, I think, another person, they kicked her out. Then she stayed with her grandma on 9th in Chester. She kicked her out. Then she stayed with her friend Sean. Sean used to work with us. And she kicked her out. And then she stayed with me. And then there had to be someone else she stayed with, because again, when she stayed with me, she was there the longest 4 nights in a row, and they would disappear for 3 days, stay 2 days, disappear for a day, stay 3 days, disappear for a week. And being married, I used to be married to a crackhead. My first wife, she was a crackhead. Mm-hmm. That was the same pattern. Watch is like, but I didn't watch her carefully, because I didn't think about it, nothing about her. You know what I mean? Because I know, how to say, I'm not a crackhead, or not a psychotic, right? So I'm pretty sure there's similarities. But my wife did the same thing. She would be here, and then when the dishes start kicking up in 3 or 4 days, then she'd disappear. And she'd be there, you know, yeah. So it was like the same kind of pattern.
So you picked up on it.
I kind of picked up on when I paid attention on it, you know, and then I found little blue pills.
All right, now, yesterday, you said, when she moved out, let's say October 1st, okay, we'll say October 1st. And that is the last time you seen her talk to her?
That's the last time I seen her. I texted her, and I told her, you know, I think it's 2 days later, oh, your stuff's still here, when you will come get your stuff. No text back. Hey, your stuff's still here, when you will come get your stuff. No text back. And I said, look, I'm throwing your stuff away. No text back. So I knew throwing away. And my last text I ever sent her was, I hope you do good in your endeavors, and I wish the best for you.
So you were texting her, but she wasn't responding?
Right.
Okay. What kind of stuff did she have there that you threw away?
Like clothes, a pink bag with her camera in it, trying to think, just mainly like clothes. That's it, like a pink bag, she kept her camera, and that's it.
Just like, what kind of clothes? Like, pants and stuff?
Like pants, shirts, pants, like, she's some kind of like clothes for like, I didn't get that or something like this, like deal. Yeah.
And she had a camera?
Yeah, I had bought her a digital camera, whatever. Well, it was like a Canon camera, whatever. She said she wanted to do photography.
Why'd you throw that away?
I threw that away. But I kept the camera at all. She won't come get this, I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah.
And every house up on the planet has cameras on. Okay, well, I'll leave it back.
When did you buy that for her?
I don't know.
A month or two before she moved out?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So she moves out, you text her a few times, and that is the last that you had, you haven't seen her since she moved out, that's the last, really, that's the last time you seen her talk was when she moved out, because she never responded to your text message.
No, yeah, there's rumors around where, oh, she's thinking what to do, she's from gas station, like, I'm not worried about that, my problem.
Yeah.
I'm not sure she's in a dope gas station or what, or she did, you know, not so much the dope man, you know, because I'm dope, the best person mess with is the dope man.
Yeah.
That's how my wife was.
Did you ever drive Adriana's car?
Yeah.
When she was on with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one time, I don't know how this happened, I had like a big, it looked like a sword in my tire. I had to go to work, because she let me use her car. And then I would take her car, sometimes to the gas station, put gas in the car, some shit. Yeah. So, I take the gas station, car to the gas station, put gas in the car, type of deal, and then, yeah, just like the old days there.
And we'll try to swat you out, but
Yeah, and then she would use my truck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so right, so obviously after driving that car then, since she left.
Right.
She left with that car.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anybody in her family, Adriana's family?
So, I know I've never met them, but this is what she spoke of. She has a little brother. I think they got different dads. And I believe they have different dads. And her little brother is the closest thing to her, but I never met him or talked to him. And then she talked to her dad, I think who has cancer, whatever. And her mom, because I wanted to meet her mom, and she said she's gonna bring her mom over. But she said that her mom's like, I don't know, she's crazy or something. She said, no, my mom's like, she's not really the same. She's kind of it. She's a little crazy. I'm like, okay. And then her grandma who kept her out, I know her grandma had cancer. And she had problems with her aunt, because her aunt was like, her aunt's an aunt, but she's also an uncle type deal. She's a man, woman, whatever you want to call her. And they got into it real bad, and that's why I think her grandma kicked her out. It was some mess or crap with that. And those are the only.
So you never met any of them?
I never met anyone. Oh, she has a cousin that she would hang around a lot, and then she said they fell out. Her and her other cousins jumped her and kicked her out of her one place. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, I want to go back real quick to the last day that she was at the house.
Mm-hmm.
How many of that did you say you gotta leave and she left, or did she leave, was supposed to come back and never came back? What was the circumstances on her last day at your place?
I told her, I said, you can't be there anymore. You gotta leave. You're causing too much problem. You're doing drugs. I don't know if you're selling out there. You're not gonna have me and got whole penitentiary for goddamn.
Yeah.
Daily drugs. That. It's not just, they're not charging just for trap. It's charged for attempted murder. That's right. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's killing people fast. Never could.
That's the worst stuff.
Over time. You know what I mean?
So she disagreed and basically took some things and left?
You know, whatever, did that, and I was
Yeah. Okay. She did take some of her things at least?
Yeah, she took some of her, she told me I had a bag full of, one night, white bag full of clothes.
Yeah.
Wrapped it up, was upset, made sure I got my key off her ring. You know, she was mad and crying, took her phone, all this other bullshit, just left.
And she fill up, let me say, a white bag, that's a garbage bag?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then she left. And her phone was still working at that time, right?
You're not sure? I believe so, but when I tried to, I think I tried to call her, she didn't answer. Just went straight for it, but she always keep on do not disturb.
So typically goes right to voicemail?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
So you gotta kind of wait for her to call you back. She never called me back. That's why I was starting texting game. So text her, that's good.
Anthony says he kicked Adriana out of the house after finding drugs, and it was the last time he saw or heard from her. Her family had a decidedly different version of events, telling police the last time they spoke to Adriana, she was fleeing from Anthony in terror. While he has no problem remembering details that make him look good, when it comes to ones that could be incriminating, like the gun he recently bought, his memory gets conveniently hazy.
Now, yesterday you also mentioned that you bought her a gun, and then you gave her a gun.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, why did you buy her a gun?
Because she said she's always done on 30th and all that.
So for safety.
Dangerous.
What kind of gun did you buy her?
It is what's the name of it? It looked like saucy, but it's not. SCCY.
Sour?
Not 6 sour.
Not 6 hour? I'm not gonna dare you.
A little bit, yeah.
Go ahead,
That's what I was thinking. I want to come back to that. I want to revisit that. Yeah, it's my own personal opinion. But SCCY is the gun company.
SCCY.
9mm caliber.
9mm color.
The top is pink. No, the bottom, the lower receiver is pink. The slab is silver. No, or slab. It's not chrome. It's stainless steel.
All right, so silver and black.
Silver and silver.
Oh, the lock has paint, the handle and is painted?
Do you have?
I'm sorry, Mike.
Do you have the receipt for that or the serial number?
Oh, I found it. I'll be honest.
Where'd you buy that?
I just want to see if it's been,
Oh, this is so, yeah.
or if it's been picked up by anyone here, so we could try to find who do that.
It is Atlantic Gun Tackle. I'm sorry? Atlantic Gun Tackle. Atlantic Gun Tackle? Where's that at? The one in Norfolk. Where? In Norfolk. Atlantic Gun Tackle. Northfield? Yeah. Atlantic Gun Tackle. So, can I visit there? One other question first. Okay, we go to that Atlantic Gun Tackle? Yeah. When did you buy that? Oh, shit, dude. I want to say sometime in August. Sometime in August? Yeah, okay, sometime in August. Now, what gun did you give her? And why did you give her a second gun? So when I looked at her with the gun, I couldn't shoot her for shoots. This big one? That one was just terrible. Altogether. Okay. But this other one that I tried to shoot the range that did good, it was a Canic. What is it? A Canic. Mechanic? No, Canic. Canic. Mm-hmm. C-A-N-I-C? C-A-N-I-X. C-A-N-I-X. Okay, what kind of gun is that? It's a 9mm caliber. Okay, and is it what color? It's like a gold color. No, it's like a gold, it's not the earth tone color, but it's more like a gold color. Does that make sense? The whole gun? The whole gun, yeah. There's like gold, all earth tones? Yeah, it's all this earth tone. Because when you put it next to an earth tone gun, it's more like sparkly kind of, so it's like that. You guys it's like bronze.
But at the same place?
Yeah.
Okay, at the same time?
Wait a minute. I did.
Well, let me ask you this, you have any idea where she could be?
These are the only places I can tell you. I remember going to go see her, and I gave her like, I think, $40. She was in Bedford, at this apartment complex.
When was this?
This was right before she moved in. It's kind of like talked about her.
Okay.
And I went up there, and we were talking for a sec, and then I gave her the money. She's like, yeah, me and my cousin. She said, her cousin. And she's like, yeah, my cousin, we're about to go swimming. And like, all right, that's cool. You know, the only other place I've been to was grandma's house. I know, and Chester or whatever it was. Yeah, Chester. And I know that she's always in the yeah. And I told her, hey, you know, I grew up there. You know what? This whole I grew up there. That place is big. I don't go down there. I don't go there. I don't go either. I don't really come on this side of town, period. Especially on this street. This pretty scary.
All right, so did she ever, besides West Virginia, did she ever, somebody else said something about Columbus, I don't know if it was you. Was she
She might have been in Columbus. She might have been in Columbus. It might have been a place in PA. I'm not sure.
Who's in Columbus?
That her peeps.
Her peeps. And that's just Columbus in general, okay?
She never said it was in Columbus or what. So.
What about, you said PA?
Probably PA.
What's in PA?
That I'm not sure. Probably more peeps.
Where at PA, you know?
That I'm not sure.
Just PA. Where are you from?
What's that?
Where are you from?
I'm from PA.
You're from PA?
Mm-hmm.
You were born in where were you born at?
St. Francis Hospital in East Liberty.
In what city?
East Liberty.
East Liberty? What is that, by the way? Pittsburgh or Philly?
It's just Pittsburgh.
Just Pittsburgh? When did you move to Cleveland?
23 years ago when I made my first return. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So let's be a little bit.
2 or 3 years ago when you first got married? Is that what you said?
Wait. Come back. Is it 23 years ago?
Oh, 23 years.
Oh, yeah. If I get older, I'll be there.
So you moved here 23 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have no idea where she could be at, huh?
And I really wish I was more help so that we could find her and stop being goddamn Anthony down. I don't.
Well, let me ask you this, Anthony. Speaking of that, not that, but speaking of, did you talk to Sergeant Cribble, by the way?
Cribble.
Yeah, remember I gave you the name, you wanted to know who was the sergeant on scene with me.
Oh, yeah. So I tried to call, they put me on, hold for a long time, then.
No.
Yeah.
Let me ask
ask you this, when they were there, they found quite a few gun boxes. Where are all those guns at that they found, a Masada gun box? What's that for?
Those are all the guns I have bought, but I ended up selling like a whole bunch of guns because I wasn't allowed to carry them long and just.
So who'd you sell them to?
Just random people. This is not registering on house. You can sell it to anybody.
So you know who you sold these people to?
It's like a few people. I mean, I would do it with people and hey, you see every gun for me, I'm selling.
Would that apply to the Jericho gun?
All those guns.
Every gun on here? Except the Smith & Wesson, because you still have that.
Yeah, still have that.
Right, okay. Well, let me ask you, Anthony, what about, they found a rifle magazine. What was the rifle?
No, I have rifle. That was one of those gun boxes. I had a lot of extra magazines, but
you sold the rifles. When did you sell all these guns?
Oh shit. A little after I caught my case.
Last year?
Okay. It was like maybe, I say 6 months or so, but I caught my case. I was trying to do a lot of research. And so on an indictment, well, the judge said you can't be around firearms, drugs, or this. And I'm like,
That's like, when did you catch the case?
I want to say 11/21.
November last year, this time last year?
It's not this time last year, it's the year before, because I've been dealing with this case for almost a little over a year.
Okay, so roughly this time last year. I never did a record check.
Oh yeah, so it's about a little over a year, so it's about that.
I tried to make sure you had no warrants, because I want to make sure I wasn't one murder. Unfortunately, I don't know.
This guy, man.
The case Anthony caught the previous year was for DUI and improperly handling a firearm in a motor vehicle. But it was far from the first time he'd been in trouble with the law. Court records show he was arrested in 2019 for strangling his then-girlfriend during a violent incident outside the couple's home. The arrest warrant states he climbed into her vehicle and began strangling her with both hands on her neck. He was charged with domestic violence and unlawful restraint, both misdemeanor offenses. Experts conclude that strangulation often foreshadows an escalation in domestic violence, and women who've been strangled by partners are 750% more likely to be murdered. But this isn't the only red flag that has detectives concerned, because Anthony did a little home renovation after Adriana left, the kind that could be seen as covering up a murder.
Well, let me ask you the really thing that's really kind of confused on is, well, there's a couple of things. The carpeting being removed from the apartment. Why'd you do that?
Because of bedbugs. I'm kind of going crazy. When I had a vision that I was going to take with the carpet, I took the carpet, and I had them sit in my house for like almost 2 weeks.
When did you remove the carpeting?
After she left.
After she left?
I want to say a week after she left, it might have been like a week or so, and I said I'm going to get busy.
So first week in October or something. First week in October, okay. So did you tell the landlord you did that?
No.
Did you tell the landlord you got bedbugs?
No.
Why not?
I took care of myself.
Yeah, but you left other carpeting in there, so that. Bedbugs don't hang in carpeting, by the way.
You know that now, right? But this is the reason why. So, for a lot of stuff that I can take, like my children, and like, I'll just do it myself. Because she lives all the way in Springfield. I'm not a modern woman, but I can take care of myself, like whatever.
Yeah.
And when I pulled up, so I had this vision that I was going to basically sit on the floor and just kind of make it a horrible floor to that right there. I mean, but I just didn't finish it.
Yeah. Okay. But why did you just, because there's carpeting in the dining room, I think they said. In the bedroom.
There's carpeting all over the place. Now I'm going to pull up the carpeting in my room.
Where did you see the bedbugs at?
I saw it on the couch because it bit me, and I stayed all in that lining of the couch. Then I seen them. I seen them on the floor, but it's just like middle of the floor, like it's moving, but I don't know. But I didn't really got the vision. But when I seen the couch, I took them to cushions and I burned those and cut the couch apart. But another reason I destroyed the couch, I wasn't carrying it back downstairs, right? When I moved, I'm not carrying it back. That couch was in there. And my window, when you're walking up the steps, there's this window. Me and my friend broke that window and trying to get that couch in there.
So you cut the couch out?
I cut the couch out and burned it.
In the fire pit? What about the carpeting?
No, the carpeting I just wrapped up and just put on the side of the house.
Oh,
It sat in the dining for about 2 to 3 because you can't throw away bulk stuff until like the first, and then I threw it away with when it came and got the bulk garbage.
yeah. Oh, then you threw it away at that point. Yeah, okay. You haven't told the landlord yet that you cut the carpeting up?
No,
That goes so long.
I don't believe I'm getting back to the $5 money, it's just $600. And I moved in, the place on $600 a month, that's all so dope.
Yeah.
But when the marketer, she was like, oh, the marketer, so this guy going, why? 600 was good.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
So you did all this in the first week in October, right?
Mhm.
And then the carpeting got picked up by the garbage man eventually. And then you burned the whole front couch?
No, I just like certain pieces of it, like, wood parts like that, and, I cut the wood parts, and there's like metal in there, so you can't burn metal, so no.
Yeah.
Like the cushions thing, I just took those back, threw those away, the cushions I burned.
So anything you could burn off the couch, you burned it, these are out in the trash?
Yeah.
What day's garbage day for you guys?
Tuesday.
Tuesdays? You put it out Monday
I
night?
put it out Tuesday, coming
Come Wednesday, okay. But that was all last month. All right, would you stay there, or are you sleeping there, or what are you doing?
I was sleeping there, but I've been sleeping with my wife at her house.
At her house with her mom? And you were?
Because I was sometimes sleep at her house, sometimes sleep in my house, you know what I mean?
When is the last time they slept at 98th? You got that in there? There is? Okay. You all rid of the mattresses?
So I sprayed the mattresses like pure alcohol.
Yeah.
I plan on getting rid of those. But I sprayed with pure alcohol. I got an air bed in the other room. That place was infected, so I was sleeping there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to the room and stuff like that.
So the rest of it you just sprayed, just going down into the front, you've been there, but you walk through the back door and you're in the kitchen, then you're in the dining room, and then you're in the front room, and that's where the carpeting was gone?
Mm-hmm.
That's a bigger front room that you had a TV and couch and all that kind of junk in there at one time? Okay.
Then also the chairs, I was going to try those too.
What is those, lazy boy chairs or something?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you just love them. I mean, still, 'cause I'm not carrying them down the steps, I'm telling you that now, so they're next on the top, I'm locked.
Yeah. Did you get that couch out? Because couches are metal, so, I mean, you got a whole metal frame to a couch. Did you throw it out the back window, or somebody help you, or what?
But when I got it up the street,
Took it out.
when I took it out, no, I cut it to pieces.
Yeah, but it's metal.
I cut it with so the way the couch is structured,
Yeah.
so it's all wood, the only metal is the springs.
Yeah.
And the springs are metal, and the one thing is connected to metal, because the saw block can cut through metal and through boards, not just how y'all cut the saw kind of that. So,
Yeah.
So I used the clipper things that I have, put the metal things in it, like open up the springs, and I was able to cut it. And then I took the metal piece I could take out, threw that in the bag, and threw that away, but all the other parts I just burned.
Anybody help you do that?
This way.
Just you? You do have the carpeting by yourself too?
Huh?
Okay. All right. One other thing I wanted to ask you, is the holes in the wall. Did you patch those holes?
I got one. I don't know, if you seen, when they came in, they seen a ton of paintings. Kind of those paintings I painted myself.
Yeah.
There's an angel on the wall that's been disintegrated, I painted her. There's only one person that's really stuck in the house, so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so I did like a lot of painting. So all those holes, is all things that I
What kind of, did you come in with a nail or a picture hook, or do you remember what paint? Just a nail? Nail, those are just small holes then?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's just, as an investigator.
You don't want me to
Thanks to alleged bed bugs, Anthony claims to have either thrown out or burned items that could contain evidence leading to Adriana's whereabouts, including carpet and a couch. But it's not the only evidence he may have attempted to get rid of, and detectives are about to subtly suggest they know he has something to hide.
Yeah, could we see the last couple of text messages that you sent her?
I really don't have text messages.
Oh, you don't have that?
Yeah, I really don't. I'll delete our picture, our text messages, even, and plus, I'm supposed to be just trying to say, so. Take my mobile like this on my phone, and everything. So.
And have you ever been to, you said you were to Topeka last year, and that was in Pine Hills, or Penn Hills, right? Penn Hills is, I'm familiar with my old friends in Allegheny, area. Have you heard of that? Allegheny County? Well, Allegheny, was not Allegheny County, he was a policeman in Alabama.
I have no idea what that is.
You don't know that's not, well, have you ever been to Allegheny County? And it's,
That's what Pennsylvania, that's what the gate is.
okay, Hills is there, okay, all right, let me ask you, right now, we got a lot going on in this investigation, okay, we got the FBI, that's on those, right now, and I'm not telling you anything wrong, but I'm telling you, right now is the time, if you have anything you want to tell me, because this is all coming back here soon. And if you're holding back, or you don't want that to be over or if you have anything, now is the time to say something. You didn't do anything to her. Because I'm gonna be honest, it's a little suspicious.
That is a criminal question, okay, and it does look suspicious, but that question I will answer later.
Okay, all right, fair enough. See that?
Okay.
That's her car.
Okay.
On October 12th.
Okay.
At noon.
Okay.
A couple weeks after she left, almost a couple weeks after, roughly, she left your place.
Yeah.
Going to the same area where you were at just in November.
Okay.
We're working on getting better images.
Okay.
You're having that hard to do. Sure, and now's the time, trying to be fair with you, okay? I mean, the FBI's working on this, and I don't want to put you in any kind of jam, but I also want to tell you that now is the time to really, this is just one little piece of evidence, okay? I'm just telling you, so I'm not.
This is a criminal question,
Yeah,
and all I can tell you is, you're trying to hide a question on the repo man. I might have had a question on the repo man.
you helped her hide her car from the repo man,
But that was a criminal question.
and you did that on the phone.
So I want to talk to a lawyer.
You want to talk to a lawyer?
Yep.
Okay, all right, hold on one second.
Anthony's shown a photo of Adriana's 2020 Ford Fusion taken by a license plate reader near his Pennsylvania hometown, just 4 days after her disappearance. While he claims he was only trying to hide the vehicle from being repossessed, he also refuses to say anything more without a lawyer present. Considering how much he's incriminated himself so far, that's probably the best idea he's had all day. But while he's not under arrest and technically free to leave, he can't say the same about some precious items taken for evidence, items he'll have trouble parting with.
Are you going home now?
No, that was one. I went there for a second and just, because of all the things I told you. So, he is in good health, he's okay. I just don't know what else. I didn't want to care before, the last year out there.
How do you know she's in good health?
I believe she's in good health.
You believe she's in good health?
That's my thought, she's in good health, she's good and everything. You know, we haven't told yet, but that's about it.
Well, I can tell you that we got the Allegheny Sheriff's Department and the FBI out there.
Yeah.
So if you know where she's at, again, that would be the time to tell me, because this is gonna get way worse.
And sir, if you could please handle your cell phones, we have a search warrant for them.
I'm gonna use my phone.
What's that, sir?
I'm gonna use my phone right now.
We have a search warrant for them, so you're gonna have to provide them to us.
I'm gonna use close, I'm gonna use close on my phone.
I'll work for you.
Yeah, we could hook that
I'll work for you. I'm not trying to be unfair, yeah. I'll actually work for you. Okay? We don't want you to get in trouble for that. So we're gonna take those, and that's the guys that process these things.
I mean, if you have further course, we don't have to do all this stuff. It would be helpful for all of us.
It's something you can't allow. It's a much better option for you. I think you know I've been fair with you, I've been honest with you, and everything I've done with you, I've been honest with you, right. But there's a lot of, and quite frankly, I didn't even get into everything. I just wanted to show you that that's just one thing, and
So I will say this, if you're willing to give us the passcodes with the search warrant, it will make it a heck of a lot quicker.
yeah, it's quicker, like an hour or two.
So we don't have any of the analysts to do the dump here, but we could take it to him with the passcode, and it should only take him about 15 minutes each phone, if he has the passcode.
You want to do it now? Or we'll take it down there, yeah? Oh, here. Yeah, here it goes. All right, this is, this is right. What's the passcode for that, Anthony?
As potential evidence is copied from Anthony's phone, he attends a mandatory court appearance over Zoom for an unrelated case. But afterwards, he claims to have something to say to detectives, and it seems like he's used the intervening time to come up with another story explaining Adriana's disappearance.
Go ahead, Anthony. What is it that you wanted to add? You don't want what? I don't want my life to be in danger. You don't want your life to be in danger? Okay. Well, I don't want your life to be in danger either, Anthony. Okay. They say that all the time. I know. It never goes out like that. I know. But okay, there's a greater reason why I kicked her out. There's a greater reason why you kicked her out. I'm not driving my car. I'm not trying to have enough of you call her. She asked me about a big name. A big name? Drug name. Okay. There's a house on 30th. Just hang tight, it's okay, all right? I don't want my life to be in danger. Okay, I don't want your life to be in danger either. I was involved in a lot more. There's a house on 30th that they do scamming, they do drugs, like sell drugs, they do scamming, they do a lot of things. And when the last time I saw her, and she was leaving, it was the reason why I kicked her out, because she had 400 pills on her. Oh, what kind of pills? Okay. It was like 4 bags, it was like about 400 of them. It was like a ton of them. About 400 pills is what you're saying. And this is back at the end of September, beginning of October. And that is another reason, or the reason why you kicked her out, right? Is what you're saying? Because it's time just to trust me and trust yourself, and let's just. I don't want to end up dead. No, I don't want to end up dead. I have a name that I don't. In what city in Pennsylvania are you referring to? She was asking about Westgate. Westgate's, they call it the Gates. It's a really bad project. She asked about that. They should have in Philadelphia, and I was in Philadelphia. And then, I can't remember who she asked me about, but the people that run this place, they're goons.